Hello, my beautiful yogis. I am so delighted to see you guys again virtually. And for anyone who has joined us for our previous class, I just wanted to let you know that we'll be running this very similarly to the last one, maybe going at a little bit of a quicker clip, adding on some more stuff in addition to what we did last time. Again, a reminder that this is truly an all levels class. That means you're most welcome to join, even if you have never done yoga before, or even if you're a multiple decade long yoga practitioner. Make this what you want it to be, okay? I got a message from somebody after last class saying, I really liked the first few minutes, but then the first time you offered me something that I couldn't do, I just stopped. I really, really want to encourage you to please, when you encounter adversity or something new or something that's challenging, you do not need to stop and go away. Stop and take a break, right? Relax, enjoy a moment of peace and recentering, and try what you want to try. This is definitely not a you must do everything like a drill team kind of situation, right? This video will be saved on my wall in perpetuity, or as long as Facebook does such things. So feel free to come back to it later and enjoy at your leisure. If you are joining me live right now, I'm super excited to have you with me, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So you can start just in any comfortable seated position. You can tuck your legs underneath you. You can sit Indian style, cross-legged, etc. Whatever feels good for you. And then you're just going to take your palms face up on your knees. And then you're just going to go ahead and shut your eyes gently. We're going to take a second to center before our class time today. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, maybe you're just watching or listening to this video and you're not physically participating today. That's okay too. You're welcome to just let it wash right over you. Maybe you're adding on some other additions that you want to have in your practice today. That's great also. I want this to be for you what you need today, right? So just starting to deepen the breath and closing the eyes gently if that feels comfortable for you. And getting taller and taller through the crown of the head. And we're breathing exclusively through the nose, both inhales and exhales through the nose. And we're relaxing the space between the eyebrows, relaxing the tongue and the jaw. And maybe we are floating the jaw back slightly. Maybe we're floating the front rib cage back slightly. And the whole time we're getting taller and taller through the crown of the head and grounding down to earth energy below us, right down through the tailbone. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. If you have an Ujjayi Pranayama practice, you can begin that at any time. And then when you're ready, keeping the eyes shut if possible, we're going to go ahead and bring palms to heart center. Take the tips of the thumbs into the heart. Let the other fingers spread out from there. We're going to take a second to set a personal intention for our class time today. It can be anything that you'd like to show up in your practice or in your life to a greater degree. As most of you know, I have a theme in my classes each week. And if you'd like to work with the theme for this week is strength. Strength. And I'd like you to just sit with that word for a second, whether you decide to use that as your theme or not, but just see how that resonates in your body. So what does strength mean to you? Does it mean just physical strength? Does it mean mental strength, emotional strength? These are unusual times, and we are all called upon to reach into our well of strength, right, and apply that in different ways. So how can we increase that? How can we increase our physical well-being, our physical preparedness to meet life? How can we really tap into our emotional and mental strengths as well, right? Fortitude in an unusual time. So if that theme works for you, wonderful. If you have another one that resonates with you better, just go ahead and dedicate your practice to that by bowing your chin to your chest to seal your intention, taking the tips of the thumbs to the chin, the tips of the index fingers to the forehead. And then you're going to inhale deeply, lengthen through the spine. Exhale gently, open your eyes, and you're going to bring your palms straight forward onto your mat. So from here, as we discussed the last time we were together, you're going to take your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips. Just take your best approximation of this. Then spin your inner elbows forward. So if you point your elbows, they point back. If you bend your elbows, they point back towards your legs, not out to the sides, back towards the legs. And then as you straighten your arms, you'll feel your shoulders broaden on your back. Make sure your middle fingers are pointing forward. Then drop your head, look at your legs. If you can see your feet on the inside or the outside, reposition them until they're hidden. And then spin your pinky toenails down to the floor. It'll feel pigeon-toed and that'll be correct. On your next inhale, drop your belly to the floor. Look up to the sky, arch the back. Inhale. Exhale, round your back. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tailbone rolls under. Exhale. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. That's your cow pose. And exhale, round. That's your cat pose. And inhale again. Keep the series going for a little while. We have an actual live cat in the frame. Not sure if you guys have noticed it over there on the left side. Yes, and he rolled over right in time. So yeah, there might be some exciting actual animal participation in our class today. One more inhale, look up and arch. And exhale, go ahead and round. And then on your next inhale, take the crown of the head forward, tailbone back. And then we're going to tuck our toes. And on the exhale, we're going to push back, downward facing dog. So this is our first downward facing dog of the day, or of this class anyway. Let me see, reposition so you guys can see this better. And I'm going to push my chest towards the back of the room as much as I can, so away from my arms. I look back to my heels and make sure that they're hidden. So if I can see them on the inside of my feet, spin those heels out a little bit. And then just shake your head no, nod your head yes. Look up to your hands, bend your elbows slightly. Do they point down? Good. Do they point to the sides? Not good. Spin them back down and then straighten your arms, drop your head. Next, inhale, lift the heels high off the floor. On your exhale, bend your left knee, release your right heel down towards the floor. And inhale, lift both heels high, two straight legs. Exhale, bend your right knee, release your left heel down to the floor. And inhale, lift both heels high. And on your exhale, keep your tailbone high and your heels high, but bend your knees. Mount your chest back towards your thighs. Some of you guys might be able to touch your rib cage to your thighs here, not necessary. Take a nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead and straighten your legs again. Heels reach back down towards the floor. On your next inhale, keep your hands where they are. Keep your feet where they are. Inhale, float forward to plank position, top of a push-up. So really try to get your shoulders over your fingertips. Let me see if I can back up a bit so you guys can see this a bit better. Yeah. There we go. Okay, shoulders come forward, 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 forward. So the hands are back behind, right? And my hips are lifting quite a bit. I'm not dropping down like this at all. Take the crown of the head a little bit further forward if you can. Take a deep inhale here. On your exhale, elbows touch the rib cage. Glue them into that rib cage as we lower down. Your chest and your thighs should meet the floor at the same time. Good. Untuck your toes. And then we're going to take the arms out in front like you're Superman, right? So arms come out this way as if you're going to clap hands. Thumbs to the sky. And then just drop your head for a second. Relax your neck. Spin your pinky toenails down to the floor. Okay, so the opposite of ballet. Not this. Yes, this, right? On your next inhale, lift your thumbs up and away. Peel your chest away from the floor if you can. Really good, you guys. Next inhale, let those feet float up as well. Spread your fingers wide. Spread your toes wide. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release it on down. Bring your palms next to your rib cage. Okay, so not up under your shoulders. Bring them back about halfway to your hips. Pull your elbows in. Tuck your toes, look down. Take a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, with a straight flat spine, you're going to push up either to your knees or straight up to plank, but no rolling up, and then push back downward facing dog. And we'll reposition for you guys here. Really, really good. Drop your head, relax your neck, and just shake the head no again and nod the head yes again. And now we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to open up our mouth and stick out our tongue and say, and then one more time, nice deep inhale. This time we're also going to shake our head. So deep inhale here, open the mouth, stick out the tongue, shake your head. Now deep inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, release your knees back down to the mat. Reposition your hands under shoulders, your knees under your hips. Right? So either walk the hands back a bit, knees forward a bit. Spin those inner elbows forward. Spin your pinky toes down. Look down to the floor. On your next inhale, take your left hand forward, handshake position. Next inhale, right leg goes towards the back of the room. So spin your right hip down a lot. Don't lift it up here. Try to keep the hip square as you can. And then on your next inhale, arch the back, lift the arm, lift the leg. Exhale, round your back, bring your left elbow, your right knee, and your nose together. And inhale, look up and arch. And exhale, tuck. And one more time, inhale, look up and arch. And exhale, tuck. And on the next inhale, reach the arm forward, the leg back. And exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee. Tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Really good. Drop your head, relax your neck. And then take an inhale, press back to the heels. And on your exhale, you're going to bend your knees deeply, look up to your hands, and then take tiny steps up to the hands, stretching out your Achilles tendons as you come to the front of your mat. So we'll turn this way so we can see ourselves here. Good. Bring your big toes together, spin your heels apart slightly. So notice my heels are not together, they're just a couple inches apart, or maybe an inch and a half. Now drop your head, relax your neck, and just hang forward here. Now this is super important. We want to shift the weight forward into the toes, out of the heels. Okay, so notice how my hips are stacked right over my heels. They're not back behind this way, right? 4, 4, 4. That protects your knees and your hips. Drop the head, relax the neck, and just shake the head no, and nod the head yes. And then we're going to bend our knees, lift our toes, slowly roll up to standing. And then we're just going to let the palms come forward. I'll come back here so you can see me. And spread the fingers super wide. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And inhale, sweep the arms up, look up again. On your exhale, flap X swan dive all the way down to the floor. Come up here now. Now here, you're going to either take your fingertips to the floor, if you can reach the floor, or to your shins, right, if you can't reach the floor. Then you're going to spin your inner elbows forward, but take your chin to your chest and get really long through the spine. Deep inhale here. On your exhale, keep both heels on the floor. Bend your left knee, drop the crown of the head down towards the floor. And inhale, heart forward again, 2 straight legs. Exhale, bend your right knee, drop the crown of the head down. And inhale, heart forward, 2 straight legs. And on your exhale, just forward fold, drop the head down again. And again, rock your weight super far forward into your toes, out of your heels. Neck is relaxed, head hangs down heavy. Next inhale, flat back one time. On your exhale, step your right foot all the way to the back of your mat, as far back as you can. Guys, notice that my feet are not right in front of each other. They're not as if they're on a balance beam. They're separated as if they're on train tracks, right? So scoot the feet as far apart as you can and side to side a little distance too. So feet are super, super far apart. Take an inhale. On your exhale, release your right knee down to the floor. Now roll your hips under as if you're taking off from a starting block. And on the next inhale, sweep the arms up, modified crescent pose. Good. Drop your shoulders down. Curl your hips under a lot. Okay. Now start floating your arms back a little bit. Maybe back behind the ears. Maybe look up a little bit. And try to pull your left knee towards the midline. Don't let it wing out to the side. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, release the hands back down. Straighten your back leg. Take an inhale. Look back to your right foot. On your exhale, shoot your left foot back. You're in plank position now, right? And again, shoulders come forward, forward, forward over the fingertips. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, slowly lower down. Elbows touch the rib cage. Chest and thighs meet the floor at the same time. Untuck your toes. Really good. Take the arms out in front again as if you're Superman. And this time we're going to put the palms flat on the floor. Let's go back so you can see. Palms flat. Then we're going to lift our heels of the hands off the floor. Not far back to make this happen. There we go. Fingertips down. Push and roll your shoulders away from the floor. Roll them back. And again, spin your pinky toenails down, right? Now maybe walk the hands back a little bit to get a little more stretch in the upper back. Find your own best position here. Drop the shoulders, breathe. And on your next inhale, pull the palms across the floor next to your rib cage again. Notice again, my elbows are super tight in, not out here. Yes, in here. Good. Pat the floor a couple times, and then try to drag yourself forward like you are a snake, right? So the motion is this way, right? That's your best cobra. Never worry about crunching up here, right? Pull forward, you'll get all the benefits. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, look down, tuck your toes, straight flat spine up to knees or plank, and back downward facing dog. Now take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, release the knees back down to the mat again. Reposition hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Walk the hands back or the knees forward. And on the next inhale, we're going to take our right hand forward, handshake position. I'll turn it this way for you guys this time. Here we go. And then the next inhale is going to take the left leg back. Back we go, and we spin the hip down. Again, we're not lifting it up, right? Look down to the fingertips. Get a nice long line between the right fingertips and the left foot, and then inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, tuck it in. Right elbow, left knee, and nose come together. Inhale, look up and arch. And exhale, tuck. And inhale, arch. And exhale, tuck. And inhale, arm comes forward, leg comes back, long, long line. On the exhale, release the hand, release the knee, tuck your toes. Push back, downward facing dog, your best down dog that you can find, all right? And drop the head, relax the neck, and shake the head no, and nod the head yes. And now we're gonna open up the hips a little bit. So on your next inhale, we're gonna lift the left leg up and open to the sky, open, 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 keep the leg straight. You can do this to your own degree, right? It doesn't have to be super high, but see how high you can lift it. Look underneath your left armpit, push the floor away actively with your hands. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bend your left knee. Circle your ankle both directions. And then we're going to look up to our hands and we're going to actively push the floor away. Spin your right inner elbow forward and come up to the fingertips of the left hand. So from there you can kind of tap your hand a couple times. Maybe you can lift that left hand up. A couple of you guys can maybe come up and tap your ankle or maybe even grab your ankle. Take an inhale. On your exhale, replace the hand if you lifted it. Step the left foot forward, all the way forward. Okay, notice now that my hips are super square. I'm not lifting my hip at all. So from the front, it looks like this, not this, right? No ice skater, super, super square hips. From here, we're gonna take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, we're just gonna, no big deal, shoot forward, straighten your leg. Scoot it a bit so you can see. So your left leg straight, your right hip is down, right? Keep your right hand on the floor. If you have a block or something to place your hand on, you can do that under that right hand. And then float the left hand up to the left hip. Keep flexing your right foot a lot, and keep your left hand pulling the left hip back, left elbow up towards the sky. Start twisting open towards the left, and then when you're ready, inhale that left arm all the way up. And just open into that twist. Take a couple breaths here. And then take a deep inhale, look up to the top hand. On your exhale, reach that left hand forward. So right now you can just work this long line, left fingertips to the right heel, or you can tap your right hand on the floor a couple times. Maybe some of you guys can float your right hand up as well. Keep the hips square, right hip spinning down. Take an inhale. On your exhale, slowly bend your left knee, step your right foot all the way back. Scoot forward so you guys can see. And now we're up in crescent pose. Yay, deep inhale here. On your exhale, sweep the arms back down. From here, option, take an inhale. On your exhale, first of all, pause. Notice that my knee is directly over my heel, not in front of my heel, right? So if that's happening, scoot your front foot forward. Take an inhale. On your exhale, look back to your right foot. Lift your hips, jump switch. Boop. There you go. Beautiful. From here, take an inhale. On your exhale, everybody step whatever foot is forward back into plank. Inhale, crown of the head as far forward as it'll go. Exhale, elbows touch the rib cage as we lower down, either to the floor or to 4 inches above. Then inhale, up dog or cobra. If you're an up dog, notice the legs are off the floor, right? Don't use your feet to do that. Use your arms. Inhale, look up. Exhale, push back. Ah, beautiful. In your downward facing dog, take a deep inhale. On your exhale, blow out your lips like a horse. And we're going to do it one more time now. Take a deep inhale. This time we're also going to shake our head super hard. Deep inhale here. Exhale. Beautiful. And now we're moving on to the second side. So on the next inhale, lift your right leg up and open to the sky, up, 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 open the hip as much as you can. Look underneath your right armpit. Really push the floor away here, guys. Then take an inhale, and on your next exhale, bend the right knee. Foot moves towards the other side, right? Circle the ankle, both directions. And then look up to your hands. Push the floor away, spin your left inner elbow forward, come up to the fingertips of the right hand. From here, you can tap the floor a couple times. Maybe you can challenge yourself by lifting your right hand, maybe trying to tap that ankle, maybe trying to grab the ankle. So exciting. When you're ready to release the hand, release the foot. Everyone steps the right foot forward, right? Again, make sure that this knee is directly on top of your heel, not in front of your heel. No. Yes. Good, good, good. Feel the squareness of the hips here. Roll your shoulders back. Back leg is super straight. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hands shoot forward. No big deal. Straighten the right leg. Drop your head right away. Flex your left foot. Look at your left toes. They should be pointing straight down to the floor. If they're pointing out to the side of the room, drop it, right? Walk the hands forward. Weight should be in your toes, not in your heel, okay? So weight's forward, forward, forward here. Now, if you have a block, you can place it into your left hand. If not, just keep the hand on the floor. Slow inhale, take the right hand up to the right hip, and then start pulling that hip back and taking the heart forward. So crown of the head moving forward, heel moving back, elbow pulling up, hip pulling back. Look over towards the side, and then slow inhale, up comes the arm. Take a couple breaths here. And then deep inhale, and exhale, right hand comes forward. Work the line, right fingertips to left foot. Maybe just hang out here for a breath or two. Maybe tap the floor with the left hand. Maybe float the left hand forward for a breath or two. Take an inhale. And exhale, bend your right knee. Step the left foot all the way back here in crescent pose. Good? Yay. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. Hands come back down, right? From here, you have the opportunity to jump switch again. So again, make sure the knee's directly on top of the ankle, not in front. Back leg straight. Take an inhale. Look back to your left foot. On the exhale, lift and push. Jump switch. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step your left foot back to plank. From here, you can push right back down dog if you like. That's great. You can lower down, take a cobra or an up dog, your choice. We're all going to be in downward facing dog. And then we're going to bring our big toes together and spin our heels apart. Take an inhale, press back through the heels. And on your exhale, release your knees to the mat. Untuck your toes. Keep your knees together, feet together. Push your hips back. Child's pose. Drop your head, relax your neck. So just take a couple of breaths here. It's important to remember that your child's pose is there for you anytime, right? So you don't have to wait for me to tell you to go there. You can take your child's pose at any time during class. You can also take your child's pose at any time during the day, right? Child's pose is there for you to center, open up the low back, open up the shoulders, just as an opportunity to breathe as well, which is so, so important. So take a couple more breaths here, just in peacefulness, whether you feel like you need it or not. And then when you're ready, we're going to move on. So when you feel ready to move on, you'll inhale, creep your fingertips forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, push back downward facing dog. So from your child's pose, up go the fingertips, back go the toes, push back, meet in down dog. From here, take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, release the knees back down to the mat. Untuck the toes, reposition, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. This time we're going to inhale the left hand forward, handshake position again. And on the next inhale, we're going to take the right leg back, but we're going to flex the foot, right? From here, you're going to float your left arm out like a wing. And from here, you're going to try to float the sole of the right foot out to the right side of the room. And guess what? It's a lot harder than it feels like it ought to be. Keep pulling your navel into your spine, breathing here. And then inhale, take the leg back, arm to the front. On your exhale, bend your back knee, reach back, see if you can catch the inside of the ankle here. Might or might not happen. If you do grab that ankle, start lifting the foot up towards the sky. Push the floor away actively with your right hand. And then turn over towards the left, twist a little bit here. Deep inhale, lift. And exhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arm, look down. Deep inhale, lift both straight limbs. Exhale, release the hand, release the knee. Good. Tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Take a deep inhale here. On your exhale, bend your knees, look forward again. Tiny steps as you come up to your hands. And at the top of your mat, your big toes touch, your heels spin apart, drop your head, relax your neck. Now bend your knees, lift your toes, slowly inhale, roll up to standing. I'll come back here so that you can see. Palms are forward, shoulders are down. Right. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. And exhale, flat back, just swan dive all the way down. And inhale, heart forward, chin to the chest. And on your exhale, step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat, far as it'll go. Really good. So again, setting up the feet on those train tracks, rolling the shoulders back, heart forward, take an inhale. On your exhale, release your left knee down. Good. Curl your hips under as if you're taking off from a starting block. And then slow inhale, sweep the arms up all the way here. And now again, we're going to pull that right knee towards the midline, and we're going to drop the shoulders down. And then we're going to flow the arms back a little or a lot. Really good, you guys. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, slowly go ahead and release the hands down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, straighten your back leg. Take another inhale. Exhale, shoot the foot all the way back. I'm going to show you from the side what I'm talking about. From here, we're going to keep the shoulders over the fingertips here, and then right back to plank position, right? From here, you can push right back down dog or lower down chaturanga, your choice. Really good. And then we'll all return to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take our feet up to our hands again. You can do it by stepping. You can also do it by hopping. So you can bend your knees. Inhale, drop your butt towards your heels. Spin those inner elbows forward. On your exhale, spring up. Feet land between the hands, right? It's an option. From here, we're all at the top of our mat. We got there however we were going to get there. Big toes touch, heels spin apart, head drops down. Take your hands to your hips. Point your elbows to the sky. Roll your shoulders away from the floor. Next, inhale, flat back, rise to standing. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, flat back, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, heart forward, chin to the chest. On your exhale, step your right foot all the way to the back of the room. Demo this. Now this time, we are going to set our feet up as if they're on a balance beam. So from the front, it'll look like this, right? 2 feet right in line together. Our right heel is spun down flat, but try to point your toes up at a diagonal rather than all the way to the side. So as many of you might have guessed, we're setting up in a warrior 2 foot position. When you're ready, you're going to cartwheel up, right arm, left arm, up you go into your warrior 2. Really good. Drop your shoulders. Maybe take your hands to your hips for a sec, and make sure that both of your hands are on the same plane, right? So if you have a habit of lifting your right hip, see if you can drop that down. And a way to make that happen is to scoot your rib cage more to the center. And take the arms back out, shoulders down. Maybe sink down a little lower, maybe not. Good. Take an inhale here. Exhale, just drop the shoulders. And then inhale, reach as far forward as you can. On your exhale, straighten your front leg. Drop your left hand down wherever it wants to go. Maybe it wants to go to your thigh, maybe your shin, maybe the floor or a block, right? Not the knee though, anything other than the knee. And then we're going to spin our heart open and relax through the rib cage. So take the crown of the head even further forward as opposed to doing this. Extend out, spin open. Look up to the top hand here. Really good, you guys. And then just shoot energy out the fingertips here. Trying to get longer through the crown of the head. And then on your next inhale, come on up to standing. And on your exhale, bend your left knee, cartwheel down, hands come to either side of the foot. Now lift your right heel. Okay, I'm going to face you guys here. So we're in a high lunge, and our feet are back on the train tracks again. And we're just going to open up the hips a little bit more right here. So I want you to circle clockwise a couple times, maybe 4 times. And then counterclockwise, other direction. And then take an inhale. And on your exhale, release that right knee down again, as we did at the beginning, right? Now we're just going to rock forward a couple times. So keep the right knee where it is, but just kind of pretend like you're trying to drag it forward. A couple more times. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Really good, you guys. Now take an inhale, and on your exhale, we're going to start to straighten the left leg. Flex that left foot a lot. Your back toes are tucked under. You guys can see back there. And then you're going to twist slightly to the left. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, drop your right ear toward your left shin. Keep trying to pull your left hip back rather than forward. Pull it back. Drop the ear down and breathe. Just pulse here, maybe for 8. And then when you're ready, you might want to try scooting your left heel forward, maybe just an inch or 2, right? Just breathe into your left hamstring, see what that feels like for you. Some of you guys may take it all the way down, but remembering that we're keeping the hips square here, so the back toes are tucked under. And then if you reach the floor, you can again twist slightly to the left, maybe lay that right ear towards the left shin. And then take a deep inhale. On your exhale, replace your left foot wherever it was in your high lunge. Good. Okay. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, step your right foot up to meet the left. Big toes touch, heels spin apart. Drop your head, relax your neck. Folks who are familiar with my class will recognize this rocking exercise we're about to do. It's really, really good for getting you in contact with your core, right? So bring the big toes together, spin the heels apart. I need you to get your hands flat on the floor, however that has to happen. So if you're like, well, I can't touch the floor, then you're going to bend your knees to get the hands down. Doesn't matter if the knees are bent or straight. I just need you to have flat palms on the floor, fingers spread super wide, middle fingers pointing forward. Okay? So I'm going to come back here to demo. So what we're going to do, take your palms flat, big toes touch, inner elbows spin forward. And then we're going to inhale, rock back, exhale, rock forward. See if you can come up onto your tippy toes here. If your knees are bent, that's also fine, right? It's the exact same motion. So what does this look like you're going towards? Oh, you're going towards crow or crane, right? So just keep exhaling as you come forward, taking as much weight into your hands as you can, and your fingertips are clawing super hard here, okay? Don't just dump into the heels of the hands. So we'll just do this maybe 8 or whatever feels good for you. And if you find that the pressure is super light on your toes here, some of you guys might even start being able to float up into handstand. You might surprise yourselves. That's what that looks like. And we release down. So just take a couple of those. When it's no longer fun, you'll come to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Big toes touch, drop your head, relax your neck. So if you're done with that fun activity, we're all in our forward fold at the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, heart forward, chin to the chest. On the exhale, step the right foot all the way to the back of the room. From here, you can step right back to down dog. You can take plank chaturanga, or you can try a fun lifted leg transition. I'm going to demo it for you right now. From your lunge, we're not going to go to down dog. We're going to stay in plank. Inhale, use your core, lift your left leg up. Okay, notice I did not go back here. I stayed right here in plank. Now I put my elbows into my rib cage as I lower down. Left foot releases. Inhale up. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Beautiful, beautiful. Take an inhale, press back for your heels. Exhale, release the knees back down to the mat. Untuck the toes, reposition hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to do that weird, feels harder than it should be thing on the other side now. Inhale the right hand forward. And now we're going to inhale the left leg back. Flex your left foot, toes point down. Inhale, right arm out to the side like a wing. And then start to slide the sole of the left foot over towards the left side of the room. Breathe, pull your navel into your spine. If you're shaking, you're doing it right. Inhale, arm to the front, leg to the back. Exhale, bend your back knee. Reach back, see if maybe you can tap the ankle, maybe you can grab the ankle, and then start lifting the toes up, pushing up and away from the floor, out of that left arm, and then twist over towards the right, look up. Deep inhale, lift. And then exhale, straighten the arms, straighten the leg, look down. Inhale, lift both straight limbs. Exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Great job, you guys. Here we're just going to get our feet up to our hands however you want to. Deep inhale, drop it down, step or lightly flip. Up to the top, big toes touch. Take an inhale, flat back, heart forward. And then on your exhale, we're going to step our left foot all the way to the back of the room. And again, we're setting up on that balance beam again. So this time, right foot's directly in front of the left. Forward a bit here. And the left toes are pointing up optimally at a diagonal. So notice my toes are not pointing straight out, those left toes. I spin my heel back. When you're ready, cartwheel up, left arm, right arm. Here's your warrior two. And then let's just take all the time we need to get to our best warrior two here. So I'm going to take my hands to my hips. What's happening? Is my left hand too high? Let me scoot center. Am I kind of lazing in the front knee? Let me sink down a bit. Maybe I need to scoot my front foot forward, right? Maybe I need to curl my hips under. And then when I'm ready, inhale up, go the arms. Exhale down, go the shoulders. And then just maybe I look over my right fingertips for a breath or two. And then I take a deep inhale, and I'm going to reach super far forward. And on the exhale, I straighten the leg, and I drop my right hand down wherever it wants to go. Thigh, shin, floor, not the knee. Anywhere else, right? If you've got a block, that works too. Then we want to spin our chest away from the floor, right? And instead of dropping the head down, we want to extend the head out. Look up to your top hand. A lot of energy through the left fingertips. Couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to slowly come on back up to standing. And on the exhale, bend your right knee. Cartwheel down, right hand, left hand, lift your left heel. Good job, you guys. Now I'll turn to the side so you can see this next part better. We're going to, again, kind of roll through the hips a little bit. So make sure the feet are back on the train tracks. And this time we're going to circle around counterclockwise 4 times. And then opposite direction 4 times. Good job. And then take a deep inhale here. Make sure the feet are as far apart as they can possibly be. Release your left knee down. Curl your hips under. Roll your shoulders back. And then we're just going to rock front to back. So you should feel a gentle stretch right in your left hip flexor. That's what we're going for here. And then take an inhale. And on your exhale, slowly start to straighten the front leg. Good. You're going to keep this right foot flexed. Okay, that's important. Don't get lazy with the foot. Keep it flexed really actively. Then twist over towards the right. Pull your right hip back. Deep inhale, get long through the spine. On your exhale, aim your left ear toward your right shin. And then we're just going to pulse here. If that feels good and that's challenging, stay. If you need a little more, scoot your heel forward a little bit. Scoot your heel forward a little bit. Find a good place for you. But again, remember, your back toes are not turning open. They're staying super square, right? Left hip down. Right. If you reach the floor again, if you need this, some of you may, right? If you're watching and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Fine, it's not for you, right? It's for someone. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, lay your left ear down towards your right shin. And then when you're ready, come on back up, plant your palms, take an inhale. On the exhale, step the right foot back down. Good. Deep inhale here. Exhale, step your left foot up to meet the right. and then just take a forward fold. We're going to take one more set of that rocking exercise, and this one's a little bit easier. You're going to do it with feet straddled instead of together. So from the front, it'll look like this. So just hop your feet out, turn your toes in, okay? Important, not out, not forward. Heels point out, toes point in, right? Everything else is the same. I'll put a little center for you guys. You're going to take your palms down flat. You'll probably have an easier time reaching the floor here, but if you still can't reach the floor, no problem. Bend your knees. Everything else is the same. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, rock forward. I do want to highlight this right now. Don't do this. Okay, don't do that. Elbows forward, 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 right? Legs are straight or legs are bent. Doesn't matter. You're going to inhale, rock back. Exhale, rock forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Maybe you're coming up to your tippy toes here. Maybe these legs are going to float up a lot easier in this straddle position. That's a lot more doable. For those of you guys who need excitement challenge today, you can try bending one knee. Once you're up there, go back and forth. Slowly, 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 slowly resist on your way down. Okay? Try that for a couple breaths. And then we're all just going to come to a forward fold. Drop your head, relax your neck. And again, remembering you guys that if your feet are not coming up off the floor, that doesn't mean you're not doing it correctly. And it also definitely does not mean that you're not benefiting, right? Every time you take that exhale, and come forward and lessen the pressure on the feet and increase the pressure in the fingertips, you're building your core strength tremendously. What are we building? Our strength happens to be our theme this week. So exciting, right? When you tried a couple or you're just over it, come to your forward fold and breathe. Big toes touch, heels spin apart. And then we're going to take a deep inhale wherever you are. And on your exhale, you're going to step your left foot all the way back to the back of the room, head into your lunge. From here, you can step right back to down dog or plank chaturanga. Or if you want to take that lifted leg, again, commit to not going to down dog. Stay in your plank, pull your core in, up goes the leg. Really good, you guys. Elbows in, lower down. Foot releases. Inhale up, exhale back. Really, really beautiful. Bring your big toes together, spin your heels apart, take an inhale, press back through your heels. On your exhale, open up your knees to the edges of the mat. See wide knees here, wide, untuck the toes, push back, wide knee, child's pose. Drop your head, relax your neck. Take a couple of breaths here, whether you feel like you need to or not. Just breathe. I'm going to check the time. Oh, perfect timing. Now in a second, we're going to come to our down dog. And what we want to achieve is we want to end up sitting flat. And I'm going to give you a couple of options on how to make that happen. So first option is you're just going to walk your feet forward and you're going to sit down, right? Second option, using that rocking motion that we were just doing, that strong exhale, and also incorporating the hop forward or the invitation to hop forward that we did earlier. I'm going to demo for you how to hop through to sitting, right? I definitely don't expect you to do it perfectly the first time or maybe ever at all, right? But the benefit is in the attempt. So give it a try. One word to the wise, make sure your knees are pointing in. If you're trying to hop forward with your knees pointing out, it's definitely not going to work. You're going to run into your arms, okay? I'm going to see if I can do this from the side. Might be a good way to demo. So, yeah, that's good. So I'm in my down dog. I take an inhale. I bend my knees and I look forward. And I pick a spot with my eyes to look for that's super far away. It's not like right past my fingertips. It's super past, right? Where I think I can possibly go. And then I take an inhale, and on the exhale, that's like the super excitement version, right? Shoot through, stay in your balance. Option 2 is shoot through. Option 3 is shoot almost through. Option 4 is get halfway there, right? Doesn't matter. Give it a try. Take an inhale. On your exhale, see how far you can go. And then we're all just going to end up sitting. Feet together, big toes touch, heels apart. Drop your shoulders. Okay, you should all be sitting by now. Now we're going to bend our knees, take your hands underneath your knees, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. We're going to take an inhale here, and on the exhale, We're gonna round our back, tuck our chin to our chest, slowly roll back onto your back, bring your knees into your chest. Okay? And then just wiggle your toes, circle your ankles. And then we're gonna set our feet down on the floor, hip distance apart. Okay? Our toes are gonna turn in slightly. Okay, toes turn in again, pigeon toe. That same inner spiral we always talk about. Now, I'd like to invite you to take your arms above your head. You may or may not like this way of getting into bridge. Just give it a try. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can do it a different way. Place the back of the hands into the floor. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, lift your hips up. So for me, I can get a little higher on my shoulders when I start with my arms above my head. I'm pressing down through my feet a lot, trying to lift the hips up, but I'm not clenching my glutes at all, right? Take your butt out of the equation. Use the strength of the legs to lift, and then maybe you're going to rock side to side, take the hands down and thread them to the inside of the heels here. Again, pressing down through the feet, lifting up through the hips. Take a nice deep inhale, and exhale, release it on down. Bring the knees into the chest, wiggle the toes, circle the ankles. Beautiful. And then we're going to take a second back bend, and I'm going to give you some options. So option number one is that same bridge that we just did, right? You can come into it with any arm position that works for you. You can also try pushing the elbows down and going directly to a supported bridge, taking the thumbs into the tailbone, super, super low, pushing the hips under here. You can also turn your feet over, press the top of the feet into the mat here and lift up, which will very effectively take the glutes out of the equation, which is good. You can also try lifting one leg at a time. Exciting. If you'd like to move to wheel from here, rock, place a hand under the shoulder. Rock, place a hand under the shoulder. Elbows point up, toes point in. Come to the crown of the head. Again, shoulders away from the ears, elbows pointing back. On an exhale, up you go. Okay? From here, if you need some exciting options. To open up your shoulders, take your chest back. Ooh, maybe you can come all the way to straight legs here, maybe not, right? If you want a tighter wheel, lift your heels, step, step, release. Lift your heels, step, step, release. Notice that I am never turning my toes out at any time. I keep my toes turned slightly in to protect my low back and my knees, right? And then you can walk forward and back. You can try lifting a hand, lifting a leg, lots of fun things to do. To get out of your wheel, chin to the chest, slowly release back down, bring the knees in, okay? So try something that feels fun to you. Try a back bend option that appeals. I'm going to give you a minute or two to do that, and then we will reconvene. So when you've had fun with your back bend, we're all going to move to a plow. If you don't like plow, that's fine, take a forward fold. Okay, so if you really, really hate plow, you're just going to come back to sitting. You're going to rock side to side, pull the flesh out from under sit bones, inhale up, exhale full forward with the feet flexed, drop the head. If you don't hate plow or you like plow, you're going to come from your back bend, take your arms above your head again, as we did at the beginning, and then straighten the legs all the way over, right? Your goal is to touch the toes to the floor, but also to lift the tailbone, okay? So try not to collapse here. Really try to get long through the spine. Stay here as long as it feels good. When it no longer feels good, you're going to slowly roll back down again. When your tailbone hits the mat, bring the knees into the chest. We're going to take a little slight detour before our inversion of a little twist. So take your arms out to the sides like wings when you're ready. And then you're going to take your knees and tuck them all the way up and into your left armpit. So they go all the way up and into the left armpit. And then I'm going to take my right knee and reach extra a little further away to keep it stacked on top of the left. And then I'm going to look at my right hand. Glue your right shoulder down to the floor as much as you can. Take a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, come on back to center. And then we're going to tuck the knees up and into the right armpit, and then reach extra with the left knee, and then look over to the left hand and try to release that left shoulder down to the floor if possible. And then come on back to center, bring the knees into the chest, and you're going to rock front to back a couple times and then rock up to sitting. So we're going to take a very exciting inversion to finish off our class time today. If you are like, oh man, I'm just toast, oh, I'm so tired, totally fine. Find a wall or a door or something that's flat. Go there and sit, scoot your butt all the way up to the wall so that you can make a 90-degree angle at your hips. Pretend like there's a wall here, right? I'm going to take a 90-degree angle with my legs. But there's a wall behind here. Don't just go in the middle of the room and do this. I need you to be able to relax your legs. So find a wall space or the back of a door that nobody's going to walk into while you're having your inversion. So anything where your legs are higher than your heart is an inversion. So that will definitely qualify. For the rest of us, I'd like to invite you guys to do classic headstand today, and I'll give you some variations too if that's like old news for you. Reminder, classic headstand, interlace your fingers, tuck your bottom pinky finger under. Okay, so you want to make the largest surface area possible, pressing across the floor, not that tiny, tiny bone, right? Now, your hands are forming a cup that the back of your head will sit in. Two things mess people up on headstand most often. One is elbows too far apart. Okay, remember that you're trying to make an equilateral triangle. So imagine that third leg is going to be the same length, not out here, right? Two, people come up on their forehead and they don't realize it. So if you want to come up on the true crown of your head here, I'm going to give you guys some options. If you've got a wall, great. Go to the wall or maybe an inch or two away from the wall. Make your little cup for your head. Tuck the back of the head into the cup. Now press really hard with your elbows, super hard. If you're near a wall, you can step 1 foot forward and on an exhale, kick up the other leg, right? Do not try to do both legs at once, right? Don't do that. Take 1 foot forward, you have one job, and that's to get one leg up. I promise you the second leg will join it, right? If the wall's right here, you can use that to, get your bearings. If you're not against a wall, if you're used to doing headstand, oh, P.S., the easy way to come down, one leg at a time. One leg guides you down, the second one follows. If you need a more challenging headstand experience today, walk your toes forward, push into the elbows, get the hips up, and then the feet will follow, right? And again, the more challenging descent will be legs together. You're going to shift your hips back, use your core, use your core, use your core, release it on down. For people who need even more excitement, I will give you a twist today for your headstand. I'm going to make sure I'm about center. Beautiful. So I'm going to come up, use my core, legs come up, good. Twist option. So I'm going to take my left knee and I'm going to point over toward the right and I'm going to twist, 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 twist. And the further you twist, the more exciting it becomes. And then you're going to come back to center and do the other side. Right knee, twist, 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 twist. And if my right knee is pointing to the left, my right elbow is going to be digging in super hard to keep that balance, right? And then to come down, again, gently, gently, gently. Or if you're tired, you'll take it 1 foot at a time. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to play, and then we will congratulate ourselves with a delightful Savasana. And we are right on time. Perfect, perfect. So when you've had enough inversion, whatever inversion you chose to do, you're going to come back to your back. Bring your knees into your chest. And then we're just going to wrap our arms completely around our shins. If you can, try to grab opposite elbow. If you got that, drop your head, drop your shoulders, drop your tailbone, right? So really try to flatten out your spine entirely on the mat. And then inhale, take your arms out again. And on the exhale, come on back in with the other arm on top. It'll be the way that feels weird. Then drop your head, Drop your shoulders, drop your tail down. And then on your next inhale, lift the head, lift the shoulders, tuck your nose into your knees. Squeeze your hands on your elbows, scrunch up your feet, scrunch up the muscles of your face. For one inhale only, pull your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, release everything out and down for Savasana. So how do we find our best Savasana? Right? Stretch each limb out as long as you can, and then just let them drop down. And if you need something for your best Savasana, like socks or something for your eyes or a light blanket to place over you, go ahead and get whatever that is right now. Whatever will give you your best commitment to relaxation. I'm going to go get a cat. I'm going to get this cat right over here. Hello, Mandalorian. Come on, come with me. All right. This is what I need for my best Savasana. Here he is. Let's see if he stays. So just take a couple breaths. Relaxing into your mat. Yeah, you're doing great. You're wonderful. And just thinking about the hard work that you did during these last 60 minutes. I hope that you approached it from a spirit of play and adventure and relaxation. But it's also work, right? So the way that we do our work and the approach that we take to it is largely designate of what we get out of it, right? So if you spent the hour kind of gritting your teeth and right, you still did good work, right? But how much more could you have gotten out of it if you'd spent the hour in a spirit of play and adventure and laughing and lightness, right? So if you did that, marvelous, wonderful. If you didn't do that, also marvelous and wonderful, because now you get to try something different next time, right? And you have something to compare it to. You have an opportunity to see, when I approach things that are difficult or challenging, or maybe just like not natural to me, or just new, how does my spirit come to it, right? Does it come to it with a feeling of, this is dumb, or I suck, or whatever, right? And just for future reference, you guys are 100% encouraged to get frustrated with me at any time, right? Anything that you don't understand, anything, perhaps the sound of my voice right now at this moment, please hate it, go for it, right? What I do not want you to have is frustration with yourself. So the time that you put in doing work, whether it be your yoga practice, whether it be another physical discipline, whether it be meditation, whether it be reading something that's educational to you, the time that you put in, it is imperative that you do it from a sense of love for self, right? And that's a phrase that I know is really uncomfortable for a lot of people, like, oh, love of self, right? You defame the gift that you have been given of the opportunity to live in this body, in this time, by hating on yourself. That's just true, right? So I want you guys to remember that when you approach things that can lead to betterment for you, betterment of your body, betterment of your mind, betterment of your emotional state at any time, it must be done with a sense of love and appreciation for yourself, right? So in the future, when we meet again, right, either live or online in this way, which I think will be happening for a while longer, I really want to encourage you to put any frustration or disappointment that you might have, just put it on me, okay? I can take it, I promise. I want you guys to be only and purely appreciative of yourselves in all of your endeavors. And then watch how they flower and grow and bring you the things that you've maybe been longing for your whole life. And whatever you want is okay. So in your Savasana, I'd like you to start to rub the thumbs across the pads of the fingers of each hand. And then go ahead and circle the wrists and the ankles slowly. Keeping the eyes shut if possible, we're going to roll over to one side. It can be the right or the left side, whichever calls to you today. Let your body orient you in the direction it chooses. And then bring your knees into your chest and thank your body for working so well and so hard for you. And thank yourself for having the wonderful presence of mind to have a yoga practice. No matter how frequently or infrequently you are able to engage in it, each time we allow our bodies to move in this way, they thank us. Good job. If this was your first yoga class ever, good job. If this was your 1,000th yoga class or more, also good job. Let your body reap the benefits. Breathe into the things that are happening in your body right now. So positive, so constructive, so healing and life affirming. And then when you're ready, gently coming up to a nice comfortable seated position. It can be any position that lets the tailbone melt down and the crown of the head lift up to the sky. And we're going to take palms face up on the knees. And we let those open palms symbolize the space we've created during this class. Space for the new and the different and the better. Space for unexpected blessings to drop effortlessly into our outstretched palms, and we accept them with joy and gratitude, knowing that by working on our strength, the theme for the week, we are better able to accept those blessings, to acknowledge those blessings, and even to recognize those blessings, right? When we are energized, when we're moving forward into greater strength of body, mind, and spirit, we allow those things to come to us more readily, more easily, more recognizably. So bringing palms to heart center, tips of the thumbs into the heart, other fingers spread out from there. We let the gentle pressure of our thumbs on heart center remind us of the inexhaustible supply of love and generosity and goodwill that we have to share with all, and knowing that all we put forth will indeed return to us 1,000-fold in the most miraculous and unexpected of ways. So bring the palms to the forehead for clarity of thought, and to the mouth for clarity of speech, and to the heart for clarity of action. I thank you all for sharing your beautiful practices and your beautiful spirits with me today. We end this class as always with a phrase which means, that which is sacred in me acknowledges that which is sacred in you. And so we say, Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you today. Leave me some comments on my wall for times that might be good for you. Next week, I'd like to do another all levels class like this. And I've also had a request to do an advanced class, which will be interesting to probably less of you, but I do want to, I hope to be able to be of service to folks in that way as well. So be sure to let me know when is good for you, and I hope you're having a lovely evening wherever you are. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.